Do we have a quorum yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Quorum is 8. Wait, no, 2.
Okay, we still need 2 members.
All right, well, let's draft 2 from, everybody else is qualified downstairs. I'm sure one of them is going to do it anyhow. We were sitting beside you in the elevator.
All right, we do now have a quorum, so we can get started. But before we start, I'm going to ask Chairman Corbett if he'll lead us in a word of prayer. All right.
Thank you. Y'all bow with us. Dear Lord, we just thank you for this day. Just thank you for many blessings you bestow upon us each and every day. Lord, we just ask now that you just lead, guide, and direct us in everything that we do and say here today be pleasing in thy sight. And all things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that very much. The first one we're going to take is H.R. 656. Representative, you'll come on up to the podium. I'm going to try to catch you on properly. For the record, just identify yourself and the bill number.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and committee members, good afternoon. I am reading off of HR 656. It is a sub LC 590299S.
Go ahead and proceed.
All right. I know we've got quite a few committee meetings happening all at once, so I'll be quick. HR 656 creates a House Study Committee to better understand how housing market pressures driven by large institutional investors are increasingly affecting rural and exurban Georgia, not just our cities and our suburbs. The data is clear. I know we had a pretty lengthy conversation a few weeks ago about how this issue has started in Metro Atlanta, where we have upwards of 80,000 plus single-family homes in the hands in ownership of these large institutional investors. But the data is also showing that this issue is beginning to bleed out into our exurban and rural parts of the state, where housing supply is thinner and price impacts are felt faster. And so the goal is to bring together all stakeholders: farmers, renters, small landlords, homebuyers, realtors, local officials, and stakeholders, to develop a coordinated, balanced approach that reflects rural, urban, and statewide realities, not a one-size-fits-all approach. That is the bill, Mr. Chairman, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Thank you so much for presenting this particular resolution, House Resolution 656. Do we have any questions from the committee? 15.
Just real quick, Representative, there's any major changes from the last time you came?
Exact same copy,
All right, thank you.
Representative.
In due time, I'd make a motion to do pass.
All right, we still have some people that need to, I'll come back to you on that. Who's 6?
Right in front of you.
Thank you. You are recognized, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to, at the proper time, offer a motion, but it's already been done. But I did want to say, I certainly hope that should this get a due pass and come out of the House, that the Speaker will certainly see that there is rural representation, because we don't get the headlines, we just wear the hurt. Okay.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get out ahead of this before it becomes a even more larger issue in our rural parts of the state. So let's be thoughtful and let's study this.
Okay, thank you very much. If you'll step away from the podium now and just stay up there, we have Katrina Cochran. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong bill. I'm sorry. Caitlin Bickett? Yeah, Caitlin, if you'll come on up and
Yes, sir.
all right, thank you very much for coming
Thank
today.
you. Thank you very much. My name is Caitlin Bickett. I'm with the Georgia Association of Realtors, and my colleague spoke in support of this in the past, so I'll keep it short, but we are in support of this, and we look forward to working with Representative Alallier in the future. Thanks. I'll stand for any questions. I've said it all.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Okay. Okay, I was just looking down the list there. If you would hold on just a moment. John Isaacson. John, just step up to the mic and tell people who you are.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Representatives. My name is John Isaacson. I'm the CEO of ARC Homes for Rent, a Georgia-based company. We own about 1,000 single-family and build-to-rent homes here in the state of Georgia. I think, it's great that so much attention has been brought to this issue over the last few years. We've had a significant amount of research, whether it's private research like the Georgia Public Policy Foundation or public research like has recently come out of the GAO, investigating not only the urban cities that you talked about, but also the rural areas and actually all of Georgia. And I think in that research, really all of the statistics and all of the data that is necessary to talk about the issue has already been uncovered and published, and we would just say that referring to that would be the best use of the state's resources, and respectfully object to the study committee.
any representative? Yes. You are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's duly noted your recommendation. My first question is, are you in relation to former Senator Johnny Isaacson?
Yes, sir, I am. He was my father.
Oh, right, he was a legend.
Oh, thank you. Yes, sir. I think so, but I'm very biased. So
Of course you should be. And I consider him a dear friend, but I'm going to probably oppose your position at this time. Oh,
I certainly respect your right to do so, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Representative Edelstein.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I had a question, too. I see in this section it says that there are...
Come on back to the podium, please.
There are 3 corporate landlords that own over 19,000 homes in metro Atlanta. So, also armed with the information that the average age of a first-time home buyer is 40 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
We are by buying up all these houses and keeping them for rent, we are moving that needle for people to be able to be home owners and not just renters for the most of their life. You would agree that this is a problem?
Well, respectfully, what I would tell you is, as a parent of somebody, we have kids in the age of 20 to 34. And what we've seen, not only in our family, but also across our demographic, is folks are choosing to be renters for longer. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of the kids who are coming today, getting out of college and starting their first job or getting that first promotion, they grew up in the great financial crisis. And they saw the stress and the financial pressure that was brought on by the reduction in home values. And so there is less of a desire to own a home earlier, and they're actually putting off a lot of major life decisions, like marriage, like having a kid, like buying a home, until later in life. And so some of this is a choice as well. In home ownership, the affordability of home ownership, whether it's mortgage interest payments, whether it's insurance, whether it's taxes, maintenance and upkeep, there are a lot of things that contribute to that financial decision. So I would not say that that is all on the burden of large institutional investors. No, ma'am.
And may I continue?
You certainly
And
may.
the median home price in Georgia rose from approximately $132,000 in 2013 to over $320,000 in 23 and $360,000 in 25. Typically, these study committees, and I'm new. I've only been elected. This is my second year. But these study committees that I've served on, I served on too. It initiates us to move on something. So I'm a fan of the study committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Stay there because you have other questions here. Representative Buckner.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I too was a friend with your dad and thought the world of him, and I hate to grill his son, but I'm curious.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I did sign up, so.
All right. With that in mind, how many homes do you own here in Georgia that are for rent?
Right at 1,000. It's not exactly 1,000, but approximately 1,000.
Okay. And, well, I don't guess you know the average age of the people that are renting from you?
Well, the average age is late 30s. What we really have is a barbell population. We have a good number of people between the ages of 27 and 35, 36, and then we have a significant population that's 55 and older.
Older. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Joe Campbell.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes, sir.
1,000 homes, you
Yes,
say, are apartments in that, or are they 100% homes?
No, sir. All of our properties are either single-family detached homes or they are townhomes. So you might have somebody living on either side of you, but none of our buildings have units above and below each other, if that's helpful to your question.
Well, what percent, they're all that way, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. I don't own any buildings where the units are stacked on top of each other. All my units are either freestanding or they're next to each other. And typically those buildings are 6 to 8 units per building.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the committee? The author of the House resolution will have an opportunity to speak to the bill again in just a moment. One more individual, two more individuals right now. Richard Ross, and thank you very much for your presentation there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, representatives. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Richard Ross. I am the CEO of Quinn Residences. We are a Georgia-based owner, operator, developer of dedicated rental communities throughout the Southeast. We currently own 1,200 homes and operate 1,200 homes in Georgia, with another 800 under construction. That represents an investment of around $750 million in the state alone. We pay this year we will pay close to $6 million in property taxes to the state and regional counties. That doesn't include the sales tax and ad valorem taxes that we pay and our residents pay. So I'm here, basically, a dedicated rental community is, in essence, if you will, a starter home subdivision, 150 homes. We're in rural counties. We're also outside of metro Atlanta, where every home is for rent. So think of your typical starter home community, except every home is for rent. We have separate ingress, separate egress, amenity, playground, swimming pool, those kinds of things. And my objection, if you will, to the study committee is that study committees beget regulation. I think the representative here said that in as many words. And what happens with uncertainty in the investment world is it stops everything. Meaning, I have 800 homes under construction. I'm adding to the home supply in this state. And if we're going to have a study committee go on, and I have no certainty, my capital, my investors, my lenders are going to stop investing in the state. So that's the first one. As Mr. Isaacson alluded to, there's a lot of data out there. This issue has been studied ad infinitum. The Georgia Public Policy Foundation has done a study in Georgia. You have the Brookings Institution. You have the GAO. There's a lot of data on this issue. The other thing I would say is we are, again, adding to supply. The better use of taxpayer funding, frankly, in my opinion, is let's study the problem, which is supply. We have not built enough homes in this state since the great financial crisis. And the impediment to me building more homes and more communities for rent is regulation at the county, municipal level, impact fees, this zoning, that zoning, and every individual jurisdiction is different. Some other states have passed model legislation that helps streamline that entitlement process, both for sale. You talked about the price of homes. You want to reduce the price of homes. Roughly 40% of the cost of a home is the cost of the land underlying. And what contributes to that inflated cost of land is regulation and all of the impact fees and process that you have to go to get that land entitled. So I would submit a better use of the committee's time and the taxpayer dollars is to study the real problem, which is the supply problem. And I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you, and you do have questions. Representative Stinson, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry that I was a little delayed coming in, so I didn't quite catch all of the discussion, but I just did hear a little of yours. And so can you repeat what you said? Help me to understand more. You stated this study committee would hinder what you're trying to kind of fill in the blanks for me. Repeat that part again for me. Exactly how this study committee.
My experience has been when things go to a study committee, it drags out the process. And so capital and lenders are uncertain. Are we going to be able to build these homes? Or are we not going to be able to build these homes? So until we have certainty, we're going to stop the machine. I mean, I have communities in the middle of under construction. And if my investors and my lenders don't know that we can finish those homes or rent those homes, they're going to stop that investment.
So a study committee will stop capital and lenders from building homes.
Correct, because
it creates uncertainty.
Correct.
Just because you're studying the issue.
But I think historically, study turns into some sort of regulation. That's the perception that capital and lenders have.
Thank you.
Chairman Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To your point on the permitting and regulations and the local, all the ordinances and stuff they have to jump through, I would think, and I'd hope it'd be the intent of the author of the bill, author of this resolution, that it would focus, shine a spotlight on if that's the problem. I mean, I think it would help focus the attention on that as being the problem, would be my thoughts.
Certainly, if that's a focus if that's the focus of the study, that would be welcomed by me.
Any other committee members? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Edwards, come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Todd Edwards with the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. I stand here to ask your favorable support for this fine resolution, proposed study committee in front of you. We represent all 159 counties, and our members, county commissioners, particularly in growing areas, metropolitan area of Atlanta, are greatly concerned about the affordability. I know that some of the questions raised are, do the investor own? The pattern we see happening here in Georgia, perhaps leading the nation, is that making a difference? I hear from the other side that were it not for those local government regulations, this might be solved. Build, supply. Obviously, that takes infrastructure. So the more this gets studied, focused fairly in both areas, I think is beneficial to the state. Again, our counties would greatly benefit from it. I think, growth, it's hard. We've been doing that for the past 40 or so years in Georgia. It takes great infrastructure, great planning, and also it's politics at the local government level. And density comes with its challenges. I mentioned before, but you have ultimately they're elected to the folks in front of them. That's who they serve, and that's who they plan according to. So let's take this all into consideration. Let's look at the investor-owned local government regulations. I believe it's a bit more complex than just being the fault of local government, and we look forward to be part of this at ACCG.
Do we have any questions from the committee? Todd, we always appreciate you coming before the committees, and thank you for your input.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. If you will return now to the podium to respond to the issues that's been raised, you have a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes before we lose our quorum.
Just a couple. Well, again, I would circle back to the intent of this resolution, which is to pull everyone together, our developers, our community stakeholders, to be thoughtful about looking into this issue. I don't think anyone can sit here and say that it is okay for 7 large institutions to own 50, 60,000 homes. I don't think that, I know one of the speakers mentioned that he has roughly $700 million tied up in his inventory. Every single home that's in the ownership of an institutional investor would be the wealth and value and asset of a Georgian, of an individual. We're talking $700 million of foregone wealth, right? There was one quarter a few years ago where there were over $1 billion worth of institutional activity in our housing market. That is $1 billion less in the pockets of Georgians. And so there's a value that institutional investors, particularly our small mom and pops who come in, it could be an underused or underutilized lot or a home that's not livable, that they are able to tap into their capital to make livable for a family, to pass that home over to a family, to sink some roots in the ground and get out of the circle of renting. And I don't begrudge renters. If you want to rent a home, there's nothing wrong with that. I was on a Zoom earlier with the mayor pro tem down in Henry County. There are census tracts where 99% of the single family rental market is owned by institutional investors. 99%. I am pro free market. I'm pro competition. That is not competition. That is not competition. And so what we need to do, and what this bill intends to do, is give us time. Give us time to be thoughtful. Give us time to keep an open mind and to listen to all sides, not just have a one-sided conversation, but have a multi-sided conversation where we can understand what's happening. We can move in the direction of introducing ideas and solutions that tamp down any unintended impacts or costs that we've yet to get our hands around. There are a number of bills that I've filed that colleagues from all parts of our state have filed. Let's make sure we're getting it right. Let's take the time to study this in the off season. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Representative Williams.
I don't know whether you misspoke or whether I just misunderstood, but you mentioned at one point it went over $2 billion. My quick calculations, the two speakers that spoke today represent over $2 billion.
That is
One
correct.
was at 750 million, you know, so it's over $2 billion with just two. So it's multi-billions when you include everybody, not almost $2 billion.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. At the proper time, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I think that time has now arrived. Did you? Okay. Do we have a second? I assume that Representative Williams, you put forth the question of due pass.
Eloquently, but I'll accept your abbreviation.
You are always elegant on that. Do we have a second? All right, we have a second to House Resolution 656. Do we have any other discussion from the committee? Okay, now it's time. It's been duly second now. Do we have, we'll call for the vote. Those in favor of House Resolution 656 signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? You've got your, make sure you get the form and get it on to rules there.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee.
All right, thank you very much. All right, House Bill 1394. We're gonna ask you to go to the roster, I'm afraid. I know, I'm making you get up. This is House Bill 1394, and it's sponsored by Representative Max Jackson of the 128. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring to you House Bill 1394, working from LC 610411. Very simple bill that asks that Rosenwald schools be added to the Department of Community Affairs Historic Preservation Grant Program. To give you some background of these schools, Rosenwald schools were a collaboration between Booker T. Washington and Julius Rosenwald, who was president of Sears Roebuck. In 1911, Booker T. Washington and Jewish businessman Rosenwald met at a fundraiser, and they forged a partnership to build schools over the South in segregation for African American children to learn or to get an education. These schools were built in over 103 communities. They're about in existence now. They're anywhere from 36 to 50 schools still standing now. And all we're asking that these schools be added to DCA's Historical Preservation Grant Program. We're not asking you to appropriate any new monies. These funds are already there. It just gives these schools a chance to be added to the grant program. And that's the gist of the bill.
All right, thank you so much for the presentation. My area is the recipient of one of those buildings there. And we're,
And we'd like to see it preserved.
yes, sir, we would like to see it preserved. I'm not trying to tell the committee what to do here. Do we have any? Oh, okay.
You've got one, two in your district. You got two.
All right, wait a minute.
One in Dooley
Wait a
County,
minute.
yes.
All right, Representative Stinson, you're,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make sure that the committee and the audience know that there's also a school in Dooley County, Georgia. So thank you for your work on this
I
legislation.
want to visit your school if we pass this legislation.
Yes, and I'd like to invite all of you in the audience as well to Dooley County to visit the school. Thank you.
You got any strawberries?
Yes,
all right, we're losing the committee here a little bit. Representative Cameron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative, what are the state of these schools in as far as physical state? Are they in good shape, or they need repairs?
Some, I've talked to some superintendents in other communities. Some are in good shape. Some kudzu have taken over. And we don't want to lose our historical preservation to ruin. That's why we're bringing this bill today.
Thank you.
Representative, you know the state of one of your schools up in the mountains there that you and I have.
Yeah, it's inhabited by rattlesnakes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
on that. Representative Ford.
We have one too in our little town of Alapahaw, and we've had people to come visit, and it was usable. We were treating it as a museum, but now it needs some work. The foundation is not competent as far as that. So we've had people to look at it, and it's very expensive to repair, and we're talking to people on the federal level to help with some of those repairs. So I would certainly be in favor of this and getting some help for these schools, because they're great resources and great places to use as museums for visits. And we were using ours for as a tourist attraction for people to come visit and tour them. So thank you for bringing this.
I would love to come to your area too.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Buckner.
Well, as representative of Warm Springs, Georgia, where the last Rosenwald School built in the country is located, and it's one of the few brick ones, and it is being, it was commissioned by the then president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and named for his wife Eleanor, and is now being developed into a community center. I would strongly like to support this say that I move for passage.
I had a long conversation about your school at dinner the other night.
Oh, good. Good. They're doing good work.
Okay, thank you, Representative. Representative Oldstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I didn't know better, I would think you were a member of the DAR. Is that what you're a member of, Representative Butler? I thought so. There's one in Coffee County, too, and it's on the campus of George Washington Carver, and ours actually is in pretty good shape. But I agree with everybody that has spoken. It's important for us to try to figure out how to get this passed. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I heard a motion from Representative Buckner.
Second.
And we have numerous seconds there. Do we have any further discussion from the committee? Hearing none, I call for the question. Those in favor of Representative Buckner's motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Representative Jackson, thank you for your presentation. You've got your bill.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, members of the committee.
Representative Buckner, if you will take the podium there, we're going to give you a few minutes to discuss the forestry issues and a mill closure in Junction City. Representative Buckner.
Thank you. Chair Lady Hagan asked me if I would share some information. Actually, I don't have a mill in Junction City that's closed. There's one nearby, but We heard back in the fall and through December about the mills over in Savannah and Riceboro and, of course, Cedar Springs, and those were pine. These are hardwood. There, in the last 120 days, there have been 4 of the hardwood mills that have closed. There's one in Milledgeville, Sandersville, Spar, and Buena Vista, which is the closest one to me and in between the two of us. These closures are kind of staged that they are no longer accepting wood to buy from the tree farmers, but because hardwood, they can keep it on the lot a little longer. So some of them are going to be operational until the fall possibly, but they aren't sure what their future is like, if they will then open back up and allow more wood to go back into production, or if they will actually close then. One of the mills made cross ties, and the cross tie contract had gone away because of a decreased need in the railroad cross ties. One of them claimed that they were having some difficulty because of tariffs, because they were shipping overseas. One of them talked about issues that they were having with being able to export their product because of the problem that we're having with a little issue with the EU and them not accepting the sulfuryl fluoride on our wood. So when I was talking to Chair Lady Hagan, I just told her, I said, you know, you hear about when there is something like a disruption or strategic expansion or something that changes, you hear about somebody doing something like a grand gesture to let everybody know about it. And I know up here we've become an echo chamber for each other, because everywhere you go they talk about forestry because the speaker's upset. A lot of us are upset. But I do think we need a grand gesture. A lot of the people in the forestry industry went together and sent a letter to Washington. And what I had in mind is one of the first things that we could do that would be supportive of what that coalition letter did to the congressional leadership was to try to get the small diameter wood, which we used to sell as pulpwood, that is not, there's no market for right now. If we were to work together to try to get it changed so that it is put back on the renewable fuel standards list, so that woody biomass could be a way for us to sell and use our small diameter wood, our wood waste, and those kinds of things that we've got plenty of, and we could keep some people in business, not just growing trees, but hauling and actually using them. If we could get on that list, it might open up some funding for us to develop some woody biomass electrification type systems, or like power generation units, that we could then say with our data centers that you need to have 10 to 15% of your power come from woody biomass, and it would help 2 industries in our state. So what I'm proposing is that not this week because we're all too busy, but next week there be a huge letter from us, any of us in the Capitol, any of us in Atlanta, anybody that wants to sign a letter that's on one of those big foam boards like you see in court, and it be hand delivered to Washington after the session, so that they can see that we are all concerned and interested, and we want to be on that list so that it will help us be able to determine our future, not just for the state of Georgia as a entity of the government, but as individuals from all across the state that have worries and concerns about what this is going to do to our economy. And I'll finish with this, and there's some people here from the Forestry Association that if you have questions and want more information, but I think the number is either 62 or 65% of all of the citizens of Georgia are touched by forestry. And so some of the other people in Congress that live somewhere where it's 2% may not understand our urgency and our concerns because it touches so many of us and so few of them. So is there anything I left out, Mr. Mays? Okay.
I think you did a good presentation, and I wish you would think about doing a House resolution to Congress on this for all of us to sign.
Okay, and we'll have that big letter, and they can both go up, and it'll be large enough for anybody to be able to read.
Okay, thank you. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Representative Buckner. You mentioned 2% nationally. I suggest that there are a whole lot of urban people in Georgia that does not know the difference between a pine tree and a cherry tree. So it has not occurred to them how critical this situation is. And in the forum or the discussion we held at the invitation of Liberty County Development Authority, we got many industry representatives and people from all over the state was there. 5,000 property owners in my area, not my county, but in my area, are directly impacted. That's 5,000. And it is devastating. We lost 1,300 jobs directly between IP Savannah, IP Riceboro. We're talking good paying jobs where people without a lot of formal education made six-figure incomes. So it's been a huge hit, and I don't want us to not do this as a concerted effort, and I certainly think that's a great idea, because I've found that in the past we have so many opinions. The giraffes have an opinion, and the goats have an opinion, and everybody end up getting nothing because everybody wants the headlines. It is vital that we do that, but it is vital that John Q. Worker is heard, not on the 22nd floor, but the mobile home that he lives in. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you are so right on that, Representative. From where we come from, there's a vital importance to us about the forestry, and it has really taken some hits this past year, and you'll find that this committee is very, very supportive in regard to the forestry. Representative Olstein.
Thank you for bringing this idea. It's a great idea. I would like for our committee to think about one more thing. We talk about our timber mills and our landowners. There is an important component that we have left out entirely are the haulers, the loggers, and they're in real trouble. And this whole industry, and I might need to get Jake or somebody back there to come and talk, but just from what I've understood about this industry, just since Hurricane Helene, is that it's all together. The landowner, the hauler, and the timber mills and beyond. And if we let any of these segments go, it's going to be gone for a long time. And it takes so much money to get this, to get these equipment that's in the fields and the log trucks and the training that it is. A lot of these are generational people, just like generational farmers. They're generational loggers. If we lose that group of people, we're in trouble for decades. So we need to figure out how we can help preserve our loggers too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you, Representative Buckner, for coming forth. We've got one more individual to ask you a question, and that is Representative Mike Cameron. I have to stop and think.
Thank you for talking today. I've been down in that area a lot in the last few years on special committees, and I get it because I see a lot of it. And but my question is, do we have any kind of dialogue? I think it's with Energy Secretary Wright about this, with our congressional delegations or anybody in the House, Senate.
There has been conversations with Energy and Ag and, is that everybody? Multiple different agencies, and there have been several trips to Washington by people in the industry at different levels of the industry to try to talk to people and talk about how there are several things that they're working on different fronts that have to do with the tariffs and all of that. This is something that I think there's so many things that are that close to being new and great and, groundbreaking. But one of them that really is of interest to me, and the reason I want us to be put on the renewable list, is that when you burn the wood, you end up with a char. And that's like charcoal. And so what do you use when you need to clean something really bad out of water? Charcoal type filters. And there's all kinds of opportunity that's that close for us to use that char to help clean up things like the PFAS.
Yep.
And if that works out, then we could be right in the right place at the right time to help with another big problem, and nature will have healed itself with itself. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation. We have Chairman Dempsey here, and this is our last one. If y'all can stay with us a few minutes now, I know it's getting close for some of you to leave, but if anyone leaves, that'll cut our quorum. So, Representative Dempsey, do you understand? Be quick.
I will. I'll be very quick. Yeah, that's better than ever. Thank you. Thank y'all. So House Bill 1451 is LC 599003. This is simply a great measure that's dealing with a math problem in our population and existing workforce to reverse a trend, to help immediate impact happen, and to help with the workforce issues that are happening, particularly in some of our rural areas. It will give DCA simply another tool in their toolbox to create a grant program. There is an ask into appropriations for $5 million, and it is depending upon that being delivered as well. But it's tight. If y'all have read it, if you want to ask any questions, if you want me to talk more, I will. If you want to get out of here, we can do that as well.
We do have a question.
Okay.
Representative Stinson.
Yes, sir, and I'll be very brief. And I stayed around just for you, Chair Lady. Thank you. But when I hear local governments, I think about I have a few governments in my district, unfortunately, that are not current on their audits. So for those that are in that predicament, how would this bill impact them?
So they do not have the money in their own background to help bring people there. So if there is a specific workforce need or a job that could be moved in from out of state into Georgia, not someone who is without income at the time. One of the requirements is that they have to have a household income of at least $55,000. So it's bringing tax-paying citizens from another state into this community. The local community puts up 20%. 50% of the grant comes out at the beginning. If they meet all of the requirements and needs and actually locate that person there, then the rest of that is paid. So they've got a little skin in the game, but much less than they would do to try to bring someone in on their own.
I understand. Thank you.
This is just, as you pointed out a while ago, that it's another tool that we can utilize in rural Georgia. And rural Georgia is suffering right now, and we're having some great opportunities to come. And I see this as one of those better opportunities to utilize our community affairs. Thank you for bringing this piece of legislation. We have a person that wishes to speak to this, and if you'll stay up there, please.
Okay.
Katrina Cochran. Come on up, Katrina. Good to see you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Katrina Cochran, and I represent the Georgia Municipal Association. I'm speaking today in support of HB 1451. For cities working to attract talent and investment in an increasingly competitive environment, this program provides a strategic partnership with the state that will deliver long-term economic benefits for both local communities and Georgia as a whole. And if anyone has any questions, I'll stand for them, but if not.
Do we have any questions from the committee? All right. Let me go ahead and recognize you then, Mike. All right, we have a recommendation for a due pass, and we have a duly second. Do we have any further questions from the author or any member of the committee? Okay, I'm going to call for the question then for the bill, and it is House Bill 1451. Those in favor of passage of House Bill 1451 signify by saying aye. Those opposed? I didn't hear any. So the ayes have it. Thank you. You have your bill now. Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate it very much.
I'm going to tell the chair lady to give you a raise.